I'll start with two quotations that came to my mind when I was sitting there. Power was described as the capacity to do a thing and get away with it. If you can get away with it, you have power. So I'm just dropping a sentence for all it's worth. And liberty was described as something by John Stuart Mill as the freedom to swing your arm until it hits the other's face. We do well to remember both. Now, I have resigned from the IAS a few months ago, which doesn't make me a government servant anymore, but I'm still a public servant. That government servant thing gives me a little freedom of speech. Not big one, of course. Now, as Mr. Jaitley put it so well, trial by media, which has turned out to be a head a day, one head must roll every day, is okay, fine. If somebody's done it and you've been able to expose it, you're fine, you're absolutely strengthening democracy. But I have two more submissions to make, just a couple of submissions to make. Number one, are we looking at the word public in the sense of public responsibilities, public exchequer, or public money? Because if we are talking about public money, shareholder money also comes in. Political democracy leads to economic democracy and can be sort of keep segregating both of them. Every time you catch a corrupt IAS officer or an IRS or whatever officer, my heart leaps in joy, because we've been waiting for that for many, many years. People, more than half the civil service has been waiting for this indictment, which the system did not allow. Thank you, press, for doing it. But then, do we stop there because these jokers are the ones who are paid from the public exchequer? That's just a question I'm posing before you, because when you get into the public domain, the domain is much bigger than the public exchequer. I'm glad that the first signs are coming up when you see somebody in Kingfisher drawing X salary and being sort of talked about in derogatory terms and the rest of the company's things. So where do you draw the line public? I would also mention that do we need to throw the baby out with the bathwater? There are a lot of bad hats everywhere, and the fact of media trial is a new exercise and it's proved this point. But do we need to decouple government per se from the people per se? After all, everyone has been in government, every party, including one with 2 MPs in 1.5 districts who could hold public institutions to ransom. Having said that, every party has had a chance of going around. Now, decoupling the institution of government, faith in democratic government, from the public as an assiduous policy needs perhaps a little rethinking. There's no transparency is a movement, and many shaheeds have gone into it. It started with social activists, RTI, it has had Chipkos, it has had Fair Play, it is civil society leading it, and it is RTI that has helped the media reach that level of transparency. Do you think it's fair to monopolize transparency by one organ, one part of transparency? Transparency is a dynamic movement. All of us have taken part in it in some form or the other. So there is this appropriation of the word transparency with the media that needs a little bit of rethinking. I won't step on to the question of media control. The question doesn't exist. It's either voluntary or it's not there. The media could perhaps, the fourth estate could perhaps start looking at the fifth, sixth, and seventh that are on the way. Number one is this paradigm shift in the web media, the free media, the amorphous media, the blog media. Remember Tahrir Square? It was not done by the fourth estate. It was done by the fifth estate. So there is somebody lurking in Gokul that we need to take care of. The web space, the digital space is soon replacing. And that, look at Newsweek. New York Times, I guess, is next because they've taken a digital specialist for New York Times. So the paper, the obsessive 24/7 channels all need to look at the next new kid on the block, because that is still amorphous, that is still not very responsible, that is still open. There is another fact that we need to take care of. If you assume that all of us, the print media will go up further and then perhaps follow the international trends, and the digital takes over, whether in the form of visual digital, that is TV, or in the form of digital, who chases whom? 950 million mobile sets going up to 1 billion for 1.2 billion population. Assuming that 700 million of them are activated and tablet price is crashing with every guy holding a tablet all the time, gone are the days of the static broadcaster, like Doordarshan, like the TV channels, like Uday. Gone are the days. That we just beam some program and it's good that if you listen to it. We have to run after this generation. 65% of India is below 35. They are all looking there. They aren't going to sit back home to see either a fixed PC or a fixed TV set. You run after them. They have competitive choices. So I just ran through a host of points. I could always make that out into a coherent speech if the time permitted. I have just a couple of suggestions because a lot of people from the media are here. Much of what we do by way of competitive denunciation is because footage costs money. Sending a guy there with a camera, loading it down costs money. Could we think in terms of a footage exchange where you inscribe your name, pass it on to that exchange, anybody could buy it up, use it in his media, pay you for it? A footage exchange, an exchange of DSNG or OB vans would cut down our costs. It would help each other. We would not then necessarily need to show the same crap throughout the whole day.